Racing Bros released on the 25th of March of 2020 to the PS4 store. On the 17th of July, they received their first major update, introducing 3 new levels. On the 12th of September, they introduced their second major update, introducing 2 new levels and the time trials mode, in which people can compare their times against themselves or to the world. One of these 2 new time trials would be Olympic track, and this is the world record progression of the most competitive track. The first time that we're gonna talk about was a 101.1 done the 12th of September. There's no video for this, and we don't know who did it, but we know it's legitimate because the creators of the game said that it was. Before discussing the first recorded run, I want to talk about the route. At first you would start on the blue point, immediately turn around into the field, and then drive back into the loop. Then you would jump into the red ramp and then land on the sand pit. In the sand pit you would turn left, and then you would run into the orange mountains. After landing on the other sand pit, you would turn immediately back and then drive into the finish line. The first recorded run was done by me. I turned around immediately to the side. This turn was a little bit dirty. In this moment, you would just pray that you kept your momentum when you hit the ramp. This landing was extremely clean because I kept my momentum too. This jump foreshadows a lot of the future routes, though this landing was extremely rough. And on the same day of its release, the minute barrier was broken. This run had a very similar beginning to mine. This turn was a lot cleaner. This landing was a lot slower than mine, keeping a lot less momentum, losing around 0.3 seconds. The mountain landing was a lot cleaner, and that's where the most of the time save came from, but it was still bad. The legend had done it. He had come back to get one last world record and make a big impact on the Racing Bros community. Unlucky for him, I never back away from a challenge. Up until this point, the run had been exactly like Tsumorin's, but then I got this landing. It wasn't great, but it was enough to get the time that I got. My run was good, but it wasn't perfect, and the mountain landing was definitely very improvable. But let's just say mountain landings is something that we're not gonna have to worry about for a while. Sam discovered a new skip, and with that he got the biggest time save in Racing Bros Olympic race history. Let's analyze his run. This turn right here was very clean, but it took away some of its time. This landing was really clean because it kept the momentum and the direction, so he could turn easily. To perform the Tassan mountain skip, you needed to jump at the tip of the mountain and then have enough turbo to impulse yourself upwards, then hope you landed on the green platform. This landing on the green platform was extremely good, even for today's standards. This run was extremely good, and it would take a very talented player to beat it. Barrett Mopar was one of the contenders. He was a Gran Turismo player, and by far the most famous content creator of Racing Bros. The most veteran player of Racing Bros had gotten his well-deserved world record. Well, how did he shave off 1 entire second from an almost perfect run? Well, he achieved this time save by a changing route. Instead of turning around into the field, he went directly into the loop and gained momentum. This by itself saved 1.5 seconds, but it made the run a lot harder and it made it a lot easier for him to bleed time. He also found a way to do the stunt skip without the monkey flip, but this method was a lot more inconsistent. It saved around a second though. This landing made him lose a lot of momentum, and that's where most of the time save could come from. This run would be the longest standing of any time trials run. This record was extremely good though. It was no egg, but I was still going to break it. After 2 months of attempts, I had beaten an amazing run by Barrett Mopar. But to understand the next world record, you're gonna have to learn a little bit about the history going on at the moment. At this moment I had 2 world records, and by beating Barrett's only one, I had gotten 3. Understandably, Barrett Mopar was not happy with this. At 10 seconds of time save from the first run. That's where the world record stands today. Barrett's run is almost perfect, but it isn't. If you can get a better landing on the sand pit, you might get the world record. Only you can decide who the next world record holder is.